Thank you again to Caseres Dance Company. I think this is like their third show today, so hats off to them. Our final storyteller of tonight is Brent Scarpo. His piece is titled The Adventures of Brent and Sophie.
Six months. No, 6 months. 6 months I spent in rehab. And not just any ordinary rehab. This was a Jewish rehab. Let me say it again. This was a Jewish rehab. There I was with my yarmulke. And the next thing I knew, the rabbi said that I had to go to Shabbat. Shahu? Shabbat. This is on Saturday night. I'm addicted to gambling. I just want to raise my hand and say, there are other things you can do on Saturday night that are much better. 6 months. Finally, the last week of my self-imposed rehab, and my psychiatrist asked to speak with me one last time. I headed to his office, and there he was, his black horn-rimmed glasses and his bald head, and looking ever so intelligent. When he looked at me and he said, "You know, I don't think you are addicted to gambling. I think you have major depression." I'm sorry, what did you say? Yes, I looked something like this. For 6 months I've been here because I thought I was addicted to gambling, and you're saying to me now in the last week, right when I'm about to leave, that I have major depression? But it was interesting. I listened to his words. For a moment in time, after 5 years of having all the questions, but none of the answers, maybe this is why I cry all the time. Maybe this is why I isolate myself all the time. Maybe this is why I don't have any friends. Maybe this is why I don't have a job. Maybe this is why I just feel horrible all the time. Maybe. I remember just sitting with that and then leaving rehab with my yarmulke. And I thought to myself, I bet he's right. I bet this is it. I bet I was just using gambling as a coping mechanism to be able to deal with what it is I was feeling inside. And I thought to myself, okay, I know what it is now. I have at least some of the questions and some of the answers, and I'm going to do something about this because I don't want to be a victim of this. I want to be able to feel normal. I want to be able to go out into the world and do what it is that I remember that I used to do, to have that joy and to have that happiness. And so, we do what we all do. I Googled everything I possibly could think of or find when it came to major depression. And I thought to myself, there's got to be something out there. I'm going to try everything I possibly can, and I did. I tried it all. Therapy, psychiatrist, yoga, herbs, meditation, colonic. I don't necessarily recommend the colonic. Not so good. But I tried it. Support groups, goal setting, enough sleep, vitamin supplements, watching TV comedies, light therapy, journaling, acupuncture, SAMe, avoiding caffeine, being authentic, essential oils. If they said there was a possibility, I tried it. Every commercial you've ever seen about any antidepressant, I tried. Well, after about 2 years of trying, I decided that my number one treatment plan for me would be this. To love something outside of myself that you don't have to love, but that you want to love. Of course you can clap at that. Sure. To love something outside of yourself that you don't have to love, but you want to love. Because here's the fact. You have to love your parents. They drive you crazy, but you have to love them. You have to love your siblings, your sister and your brother, who are always getting you in trouble. Yes, you even have to love that aunt that has the mustache and she refuses to take it off. You have to love them. But I didn't feel loved, even though they told me so. I wanted to be loved by something outside of myself because maybe I'm not loved. Your parents have to love you. Your brother and sister are supposed to love you. And so, my number one treatment plan was this. Go ahead, yeah, right? Oh, that's what I said when I went, oh my gosh, I think I'm in love. I remember looking at her, and she was only 4 months old, black and white, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I need. Something that truly represents unconditional love, that's not going to tell me to go to bed at night. That'll just look me with those brown eyes and love me unconditionally. Yes, she was my Sophia. She taught me how to play and how to look into the bushes, even though I don't know what's in there. That it was okay. That it was okay. That we can fall and we can play. She and I started working together. She's the queen of my castle. She and I started getting training. I'm not too sure who was training who. There's a graduation diploma. I decided that if she's going to be my emotional support dog, I was going to make sure she was going to be one of the most well-trained emotional support dogs on the planet. So we went and had the puppy training, we had the intermediate training, we had the advanced training and the super training, and finally she got her PhD. This is the Canine Good Citizen Award. We spent so long that she just passed out, and I just put the ribbon next to her and took her picture. She truly is amazing. We go on adventures together. We went across the United States from California to Pennsylvania in a car and then came back again. We have moments together. But even though she's my emotional support dog and I love her and she loves me, we do have some challenges. There's some times that like we were in New Orleans recently, and we went out. I'll admit it, we went out, and all of a sudden I lost her. I didn't know where she was at. And so I went back to the hotel, and around 3 o'clock in the morning I heard this. Where have you been, young lady? With those beads around your fur. But I love her unconditionally, and so I forgave her. She is working with students. We speak at middle schools, high schools, colleges, universities. We do suicide prevention programs. We do mental health programs. She loves students. She works really hard. She works really hard. She really is my best pal. We traveled all over, going to the elementary schools, the middle schools, the high schools, the colleges, and the universities. I remember this one particular time, we were in Pasadena, and I live in Palm Springs, California, and we were presenting at this elementary school about good characters, how to have a good character, loyalty. And we finished up pretty early. It was around noon, and I have a 1999 Toyota SUV, and she has her place. She sits in the passenger side. And on this one particular day, we were driving back to Palm Springs, and we were going onto the 210 freeway. How many people know the 210 freeway? Raise your hand. Okay, great. I can't see you, but I think you're raising your hand. Hands down. And we were going up the 210 freeway, huge freeway. You're familiar with it. And as we were going onto the freeway, we were going through the green light to go onto the freeway when all of a sudden, wham! We hit a car. We went through the green light, and this white Durango went through the red light. I smashed into it. The next thing I know, all the smoke was coming out of my engine. I'm looking through the smoke, through the windshield, and I look across, and there's this woman in her 30s, dark, long, brown hair. She looks at me, and the image that I'll never forget as long as I live was the beer that she was holding in her hand at 12:37 in the afternoon. Seriously, my poor car, it was like an accordion. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I was just like so frustrated. I got out of the truck, I went over to the middle of the street. I went to, get my wallet and try to share information when all of a sudden, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we call that a hit and run. I didn't have presence of mind to try to look at her back plate, but I did look to the right, and all the lights had turned green, and there were 4 lanes of traffic coming towards me. I quickly ran back to the SUV. I got inside, and then as I realized, my Sophia, oh my gosh, where is she? We drove across. I looked over, and she's gone. Now, she always sits in her queenly little bed on the passenger side looking with me with all that love. Well, we had hit pretty hard, so I thought, well, okay, she must have fallen. No, she's not there. I'm driving, smoke's coming everywhere. I'm looking, so I start yelling her name, Sophia. I thought maybe she'd be in the back. Maybe she got, back there, and all of a sudden she'd pop her little head up and go, I'm here. Nothing. And then I thought, well, maybe I didn't bring her. I mean, no, I always bring her. She always comes with me everywhere. We go to dinner, we go to movies. She's my pal. She's the one that reminds me that I am lovable. So I kept yelling her name, and I was trying to figure out where in the world, she was just right there. I know I had her, and I was thinking, like, oh. I'm so sorry. I forgot. See, what I forgot to tell you is that she has trained me quite well. You see, Sophia is in the passenger side here, correct? And every once in a while, I'll be driving, doing my thing, and she will sneakily come over the console. And then she'll put a little pause on my right leg. And then she'll cross over while I'm driving over to my left leg. And then what she does is she's take her little paw and she puts it on the windowsill, and she's trained me. So that's my signal. That's my signal to roll down the window. And what she does is I roll down the window, she puts her 2 little paws on the windowsill, and she sticks her head out the window because she loves when the wind is going through her hair. And that's when That's what I realized. That's what she was doing when we hit the car. That's when I realized she fell out the window onto the freeway. That's when I realized she had died. I remember just thinking, no, this can't happen. I may have taken such great care of her, and she's taking such great care of me. And I remember looking in the back again and going, Sophia, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? And she never popped her head up. I looked again. Oh, there were the sirens of the police officer behind me roaring. I pulled over off to the side. He gets out, I look in the rearview mirror, he comes to the side of my window, I roll it down, he said, sir, registration and license. And I'm like, sir, I said, I know, I hit this woman, she was drunk, she went through the red light. I said, my dog fell out the window onto the freeway. I said, I don't know what's going on. I said, any way you can contact the other police officers to see maybe if you could find her. He said, registration and license, please. I know there's a protocol, so I gave him all the information. He went back, he checked to make sure that I wasn't, somebody who needed to be caught somewhere. I wasn't. He came back, we filled out the report, and he said, I'll do the best that I possibly can. He went back to his police car, and I had turned the car off, so I started back up to go and try to go and find her. Maybe she was alive, I don't know. It's not starting. No, please, no. Okay, let's try it again. Oh, come on. I don't need this. I look in the rearview mirror. The police officer gets back out of his car. He comes back to the window. I roll it down. He said, "Sir, does your car start?" I said, "I don't think so. I think it's beyond repair." He said, "If you don't move the car, I'm going to have to give you a ticket." Really? I mean, can we do anything else? He said, "Well, I can call a tow truck." I'm like, "Okay, just do that, please." About 10 minutes later, a big tow truck guy, guy named Carlos came, and he said, "Look," he said, "just go ahead and get in the passenger side, the same side that my Sophie used to sit." And he said, "I'll put your truck on the back and we'll go." He put the truck on the back, and I was standing there and sitting in the car and looking out the window and just trying to figure out what I was going to do without her. And I remember him getting inside the truck, and he starts his tow truck, and I was just looking out the window, and I was going to this very dark place, and he looked at me and said, "Sir, where do you want me to take you? Where would you like to go?" And I took a moment, and I said, "Home. Just take me home." But see, what he didn't know at the time is that home to me was I was going to go kill myself. I just didn't know how I was going to do it without her. I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't understand how I was going to go through. I'm sorry, is that? So what you got? Oh my God, I am so sorry. Oh, jeez. Oh my God. Rudy, I am so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm a life coach, and this is one of my clients. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry. I did not. Hello? Yes, this is Brent Scarpo. Yes. Yes, I'm busy. I'm sorry, who? Rob, yes. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, slow down. Say it again? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Where are you? Sunset Street. Okay. Okay, I'll try to be there as soon as I possibly can. And then a miracle happened. This is Sophia Maria Scarpo. Not that I took much time with that name. I remember when the phone did ring 3 years ago. I almost didn't answer it, but something told me to do so. I answered the phone and I heard, "Do you have a dog?" I said, "I'm sorry, excuse me, who is this?" "My name is Rob. You've got a nice dog." I said, "Rob, do you have a dog with you?" He said, "Yeah, she jumped out the window." "Yes, she did. Where are you?" He said, "I'm on Sunset Street." I remember looking at Carlos in the tow truck. I said, "Do you know where Sunset Street is?" He said, "Yeah, it's about 3 blocks away." I said, "Rob, we will be right there." Carlos drove as fast as he possibly could. We got there, and when we got there, on the corner was an African-American man. Next to the African-American man was a grocery cart. In the grocery cart was this garbage, and on top of the garbage was my Sophia. See, what you don't know is that Robin made the phone call, and when he looked at me, he said, "I am so sorry." He said, "No one would give me a phone." Because what I realized is the grocery cart was his home. You see, Robert is homeless. And it took an hour and a half for him to convince people to give him a phone so that he could call the tag on Sophia's collar that says, "I'm lost. Please call Brent." And I said, no, don't apologize, because, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we stigmatize those that have some mental health challenges. We think that they're different. We think that they don't belong to society. We don't think that they can fit in. And all Robert wanted to do was to get someone to lend him a phone so that he could do a random act of kindness. What are the odds that a man struggling with mental health challenges would save the life of a man struggling with mental health challenges? Thank you, and so are you. And I want to share with you that it has been such a great honor and such a great pleasure to be part of this wonderful organization, to meet these wonderful colleagues of mine who have spent this evening sharing a little bit of our soul. That each one of us in some shape or form found ourselves on this journey of mental health challenges and in the darkness and trying to find our way. That on so many levels, stay. That happiness, that joy, that love seems so terribly far away, but that it was just within reach. And that if we just stayed patient, if we knew that we were loved, if we could come to understand that we're not the worst, that we do fit in society, that all of a sudden life could be very perfect. Right? That we could enjoy the day, that we could sit, we could shake, we could dance, we could go left, we could go right. We could actually do high fives. We could speak. We speak? Okay, we'll dance instead. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been moved in any shape or form by any of our stories, if you yourself are finding that you are going through a struggle, whether it's mental health or not, I want you to understand one thing. Sophie and I want you to understand that, in fact, you are loved. And though some of us here, it took a while to come to that place, we understand it. And it's that love that has allowed us to be in your presence today. And we're so grateful and so honored for you taking time out of your moments, your life journey, just to spend with us. Though we share our good, our bad, our ugly, but most importantly, we share our beautiful. And so, my name is Brent Scarpo, and this is Sophia Maria Scarpo, and this is our brave. Thank you.